welcome to today's chapel. Ms. Powell is unfortunately not here today, so she's asked me to step in and cover what we did on Wednesday's chapel. We didn't want you guys to miss the opportunity to experience such a wonderful event. Our focus this morning is on our continuing commitment to honoring and learning from people of all cultures. And today, in particular, Indigenous culture. You may remember during our Orange Shirt Day ceremony, Ms. Powell spoke about the importance of amplifying Indigenous voices and creating spaces where everyone feels a true sense of belonging. Today is a continuation of that journey. For everybody in this room from grade 10, 11, or 12 who had humanities in grade 9, I'm going to ask you, what was the tagline or the theme from Braiding Sweetgrass? Does anybody remember? Yeah?
All flourishing is mutual.
Thank you, Jade. All flourishing is mutual. Can everybody say that together? 1, 2, 3. All flourishing is mutual. Okay, does anybody want to define that? What does that mean? Anybody?
Everything's connected.
Yes, Emiliano, thank you. If I'm flourishing, then you should be flourishing. We should be helping one another to flourish and to be our best selves. So we are fortunate to have, we're supposed to have 2 students. Unfortunately, Olivia from grade 7 couldn't join us today. So we have 1 student from grade 9 who will be sharing with us in a different and powerful way. I'd like to invite Isis up. Isis is a member of the Coatsan First Nation, and she won our Poetry Maverick Award at the Fine Arts Gala last year. She has composed this poem to honor a family member of hers who attended the Cooper Island Residential School. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, Isis Waters.
Cooper Island. You went to Cooper Island, and I'm here now, looking at the old school you went to, thinking I have to be strong, but how? You went to Cooper Island, now I'm crying tears of tar, thinking you were taught here, but you still went very far. You went to Cooper Island, and I'm thinking it isn't fair. You cried all those tears here, and I never knew what was there. You went to Cooper Island, but still babysat me too. I keep on thinking about how it wasn't fair to you. You went to Cooper Island, now all I see is gray. I've learned far too much to ever go back to thinking their way. You went to Cooper Island, and I'm sorry I thought you were scary, but I learned what they did to you was much more dark and dreary. You went to Cooper Island, and I'm standing crying here, thinking about how you survived all those years. You went to Cooper Island, and I never knew. You were always so happy. How could you not be blue? You went to Cooper Island and died long after that. I feel like an old party balloon. It's over, and I'm slowly getting flat. You went to Cooper Island, where I'm standing right here, right now. I fall to the ground crying, thinking, how did you stomach it? How? You went to Cooper Island, where so many children went to die. I'm here on Cooper Island, and all I can do is cry.
Thank you so much, Isis. I would like to encourage any of you who like to write poetry, stories, anything, reach out to Ms. Powell and share your work. We want to hear more student voices in this space. On Wednesday, we were lucky enough to have grade 7 student Olivia from the Penelakut First Nation come to the gathering and show us the drum that she had been gifted from her mother. She explained to us that everyone's first drum has to be given away. This is a drum that I was gifted by a student who was in my FA many years ago. This was the first drum that he ever made, and he gifted it to me, and I really treasure it, and I keep it in my classroom for everybody to look at when they come into my room. I was really honored to have this. So to honor the idea of drums and passing along knowledge and information and love, we're going to play a video of the Steke Stololim drum group. Thank you. Thank you so much. It was inspiring to see so many of you at the Every Child Matters March this past Tuesday. Can I get a show of hands on who was there at the march? Some of us, okay. Where Mayor Staples raised the flag of the Cowichan tribes at City Hall for the first time. Reconciliation is something each of us have to face as we interact with the world that has been built around us. This land that we are standing on was once called Strawberry Hill. And as someone who's fortunate enough to both live here and work here, I often like to sit in the quiet on campus when everyone is gone and think about what used to be on this land, the strawberries that used to cover these fields. Consider the people and the beings that once resided here. I believe that we honor them by drawing attention to our history and facing it head on. There is so much learning and unlearning to do, and I appreciate that Isis and Olivia had the bravery to come and share their stories. So Isis, thank you so much for helping us to understand your poem and what it might have felt like to have family members who attended a residential school. Thank you to students for taking this time to reflect on these difficult and important issues. The grade 12s that are graduating this year, as Mayor Staples said, are the first grade 12s that have had an Indigenous education their entire educational journey. So I hope that that can help us as a culture and a society to move forward to more acceptance and to a brighter future. Thank you. We've got a little bit of extra time. Does anybody have any questions for Isis or anything they want to share about truth and reconciliation? Why don't you turn to the person next to you and talk about what does reconciliation mean to you? One. Does anybody want to share something that came up when talking to the person next to them about reconciliation? Yeah. Making things better. Nice. Anybody else? To reconcile with something? It's interesting. I had a parent come to me and say she doesn't actually, an Indigenous parent, she doesn't like the term reconciliation because that tells us that there was something that was reconciled before. She likes conciliation, right? We need to sort of look at our new future together as a community. All right, I finished everything. I thought you were gonna talk a little bit. Do you have anything to share about truth and reconciliation? Heichka.
Sorry I'm late, first and foremost. I was having a really great conversation and check-in with the delegates from, or the teachers from Tsinghua University High School. I'm not sure if any of you had a chance to meet them or meet their group. And, you know, what was interesting in the conversation was actually, you know, the different cultures, different approaches to certain elements of life experiences. And in this case, we chatted a little bit about a sporting experience and the difference between different parts of the world. And we also looked at schooling and education, and we're chatting about different approaches. And so essentially what we realized, or what we sort of realized was so important about these exchanges and having experiences with other cultures is the change in perspective that you gain through exploring different approaches to ultimately meeting some sort of learning or some sort of concept, you know, the same concept, but in a different way. And I think for me, like every experience that I've ever had, whether that's and internationally dealing with another culture, like when I went to New Zealand and I started learning a little more about the Maori culture there and the Indigenous peoples of New Zealand, some of their experiences, which are really not dissimilar in some ways to the experiences of Indigenous people in Canada. Whenever you're involved in any kind of cultural event or you get an insight into another culture, it's usually in my experience, and almost every occasion, it's always been rewarding. It's like, I've been so appreciative to see and so interested to see how they do things differently, and what can I, like, what do I gain through that process, through that interaction with another culture. And I think that's an area for Canada where we're a country now that has so many different cultures that have been brought together. But if you look at that sort of almost the origin culture of this place and these lands, which are the Indigenous peoples, again, anytime I've had an opportunity to interact and to learn more about some of the different facets of their cultures, how they like to learn together, it might be a matriarchal aspect of respect that you experience through their culture, and how the societies work, how people in the societies try and support each other and how they interact. And there's always something to be gained as far as developing your own perspective on your own life and how you function as a person within a community. And so I think that Isis's poem this morning, which I heard 2 days ago, and I mentioned it's just like, it was beautifully constructed and really well written. Like, I had heard of Cooper Island previously, but I'd forgotten the name. But because of the way you wrote that poem, I'm not going to forget the name of Cooper Island anytime soon, if ever. And so, I think that these are opportunities to interact with people from other cultures, even if they might be our neighbors, is really, really valuable. And I think if you open your mind to it and try and seek some of these experiences, then you're going to be better for it in some way. And whatever that better means will be defined by you and not by anyone else. So yeah, the march on Tuesday this week, the listening to the singing, watching some of the dancing, I just love those occasions. I think it's sort of magical. It's really special to see. So no, hopefully many of you took something from every year as this continues to evolve, as Truth and Reconciliation continues to develop and become something that is just part of a way of thinking. When you're a young person growing up in Canada, it's just going to become part of the fabric of the country. And we don't know how long that will take, but I think that's something that's important and it's exciting to look forward to. So that's probably all I'd say. And thank you. Was there some drumming? Did we have some drumming today? Okay. Wonderful. But yes, sorry again that I missed your performance, Isis, and that I was late for today. It's not that I didn't want to be here at all and share the experience with you. And again, I hope that it's just another opportunity for you to have experienced something that's provoked thought within you, and that helps take you further over the next year and beyond. Yeah. Thank you.